Nothing really prepares you for the level of wealth tucked into America's most elite neighborhoods. These are not just expensive homes, they are full-scale empires with gates, guards, and stories that stretch far beyond square footage. Stay till the end, because the final enclave makes everything before it feel almost modest by comparison. 8. Lexington Estates, Great Falls. Lexington Estates in Great Falls is not a neighborhood you stumble into. It announces itself quietly, through long private drives, dense tree lines, and gates that feel less residential and more federal. Tucked inside Fairfax County, this enclave sits just outside Washington, D.C., yet feels worlds removed from politics as usual. Here, power does not shout. It acres itself out. 125 homes spread across parcels ranging from 50 to 100 acres create a landscape that feels closer to an English countryside than suburban Virginia. According to resources, the median estate here commands about $1 million, a figure that reflects land dominance as much as architectural excess. The wealth behind Lexington Estates is deliberate and modern. At least 7 billionaires are tied to these properties, many from technology and venture capital circles. These are not inherited manors passed down for centuries. Most of the homes rose after 2000, designed from scratch with no budget ceiling and no need to impress outsiders. The result is a collection of custom compounds built to disappear rather than dazzle. Estates that prioritize privacy, control, and scale over spectacle. What pushes Lexington Estates into next-level territory is what surrounds the homes as much as what sits inside them. Several properties enjoy direct frontage along the Potomac River, turning the waterway into a private backdrop rather than a public attraction. 20-stall equestrian barns anchor many estates, complete with training rings and pasture land that stretches farther than the eye expects. Private airstrips allow owners to bypass commercial airports entirely, while security infrastructure rivals that of high-ranking government facilities. Gates operate at Secret Service level standards, with layered surveillance, controlled access points, and response protocols designed for people who cannot afford surprises. Life here revolves around traditions that signal old power filtered through new money. Fox hunting remains a social fixture, not as performance, but as routine. Horses share as much importance as cars, and riding trails weave through the estates like private roads. Organic farms operate on-site, supplying kitchens that favor self-sufficiency over convenience. Despite the pastoral calm, the nerve center of American intelligence and governance sits minutes away. The CIA, Capitol Hill, and the corridors of federal power remain close enough for daily access, yet far enough to fade from view when the gates close. The financial profile of Great Falls underscores why Lexington Estates exists at all. Fairfax County ranks among the wealthiest jurisdictions in the country, with median household incomes exceeding $300,000. Lexington Estates represents the peak of that curve, where income converts into land, security, and autonomy. This is not a place built for visibility. It is built for control, for permanence, and for people who view space as the ultimate luxury. Up next is a neighborhood where privacy hides behind walls of steel and glass. The scale shifts dramatically next. 7. Tribeca. Tribeca did not become one of America's richest neighborhoods by chasing wealth. Wealth chased Tribeca. What began as a gritty warehouse district tucked below Canal Street evolved into one of New York City's most powerful addresses, where art, finance, and celebrity quietly collided. Today, lofts in Tribeca post median prices above $20 million, and the neighborhood counts at least 10 billionaires among its residents. This is not flash money. This is confident money that has already won. The architecture sets the tone immediately. Cast iron facades rise with industrial confidence, their oversized windows pulling light into lofts with ceilings stretching past 20 feet. These buildings once stored goods for a working city. Now they store art collections, wine vaults, and fortunes built in boardrooms and code. Many units span entire floors, offering a kind of horizontal luxury that Manhattan rarely allows. Privacy comes standard when your front door opens directly into a private elevator. Tribeca's billionaire presence feels intentional. Robert De Niro alone controls over $50 million in local real estate holdings, anchoring the neighborhood's cultural and financial identity. Around him sit Google executives, hedge fund leaders, and private equity figures who favor discretion over display, as noted by Forbes. This is wealth that prefers a quiet table at an exclusive restaurant to velvet ropes and paparazzi flashes. Sales here regularly cross the $100 million line, with buildings like 70 Vestry redefining what riverfront living means in Manhattan. That development alone delivered multiple nine-figure transactions and cemented Tribeca as a serious player in the ultra-luxury market. The crown jewel came in 2023 when a penthouse at 70 Vestry closed at $77 million, setting one of the highest residential records downtown. These numbers are not anomalies, they are signals. What pushes Tribeca into next-level territory is how it blends raw history with modern privilege. Private parks sit hidden behind secured entrances, offering green space that feels almost suburban in a city defined by concrete. Hudson River marinas allow residents to step from penthouse to yacht without ever entering public space. Rooftop helistops shorten commutes that most New Yorkers can only imagine, turning midtown meetings into 10-minute trips. Culturally, Tribeca runs the city without trying to. The Tribeca Film Festival transformed the neighborhood into a global creative hub, drawing filmmakers, artists, and investors into the same rooms. Galleries, private screening rooms, and invitation-only events keep the area buzzing without ever becoming loud. The lifestyle here rewards taste, timing, and access more than excess. Tribeca's power lies in balance. It honors its industrial roots while quietly absorbing modern capital. It offers space without sprawl, privacy without isolation, and status without spectacle. This is a neighborhood where money does not announce itself. It simply settles in and reshapes everything around it. But away from this comes a place where anonymity becomes the ultimate luxury, and billionaires hide in plain sight behind unassuming streets. 6. NoHo. NoHo does not announce itself. It hides in plain sight, tucked between Broadway and Bowery, north of Houston Street, where cobblestone streets still hold onto old New York grit. At first glance, it feels quiet, almost understated, but that calm is deceptive. Behind those historic facades sits one of Manhattan's most concentrated pockets of stealth wealth. In NoHo, luxury does not sparkle, it waits. This neighborhood has become a magnet for buyers who want access without attention. Street-easy 2025 places median prices for NoHo lofts and townhouses above $12 million, with values hovering around $2,500 per square foot. These numbers climb fast because inventory stays tight and demand stays sharp. The appeal lies in scale and secrecy. Many of these homes span entire buildings or occupy converted industrial spaces that once housed artists and manufacturers. Wealth in NoHo wears an artistic mask. Tech billionaires live next door to sculptors, musicians, and fashion insiders. Some of the most dramatic purchases here involve $50 million conversions where raw warehouses transform into private fortresses, according to Forbes. From the street, you might see nothing more than an iron door and a faded loading dock. Inside, you find 5,000 square foot lofts, floating staircases, and private rooftop sanctuaries overlooking the city. What pushes NoHo into another league is how much it hides. Cobblestone streets shield sprawling interiors that feel impossible for Manhattan. Gallery-level basements display art collections that rival museums. Rooftops become personal gardens and entertainment decks invisible from below. Elevators open directly into living spaces. Privacy here feels intentional, designed for people who want their wealth to work quietly in the background. The lifestyle matches the mood. Residents enjoy boutique luxury rather than grand spectacle. Balthazar sits close enough to feel like a local haunt, not a destination. Designer showrooms, private studios, and discreet members clubs replace tourist crowds. This is a neighborhood built for people who already know where to go and do not need directions. Billionaires here value anonymity as much as square footage. That discretion has paid off. Between 2023 and 2025, NoHo houses sold for $2.9 million. While louder neighborhoods chase trends, NoHo compounds value through scarcity. There are only so many cast iron buildings, only so many blocks where you can buy space, history, and silence all at once. Buyers understand that once you own here, you rarely sell. NoHo represents a shift in how wealth behaves. It moves away from skyline dominance and toward controlled invisibility. The richest residents do not want to be seen, they want to be positioned. From private roofs to gallery basements, every detail reinforces that philosophy. This is not luxury designed to impress outsiders. It is luxury built to satisfy insiders. In the countdown of elite neighborhoods, NoHo earns its place by mastering understatement. It proves that the most powerful addresses do not always look powerful. Sometimes the real flex is knowing exactly how much you can hide. Up next is a neighborhood where old money rituals still shape who gets in and who stays out. 5 Bird Streets. High above Los Angeles, where the city lights fall away and the air sharpens, the bird streets perch like a private balcony for the ultra-rich. These winding Hollywood Hills roads stretch from Bird Street to Blue Jay Way, clinging to ridgelines that feel closer to the sky than the street below. Nothing here feels accidental. Every turn, every gate, every home is placed to dominate the view and disappear from the world at the same time. By the numbers alone, the bird streets sit in a league of their own. The median home price is at $29 million, with values averaging $5,200 per square foot. That makes this pocket the most expensive residential market in the United States. The terrain explains why. Homes balance on cliffs that drop more than 100 feet, creating the illusion that the city floats beneath your living room. Wealth here is loud only to those who know where to look. Jeff Bezos made headlines with his $165 million Warner estate purchase, anchoring the area as a billionaire stronghold. More than 15 billionaires call the Bird Streets home, including figures tied to entertainment dynasties and tech empires. Variety regularly points to names like Kylie Jenner and the Kardashians, but many owners prefer silence over spotlight. The real currency here is privacy. What pushes the Bird Streets into another dimension is engineering. Infinity edge pools stretch straight into the horizon, blurring where the house ends and the sky begins. Smart home AI systems powered by Crest run entire estates from a single screen, controlling lighting, climate, security, and sound with surgical precision. Some properties feature private helipads carved into the hillside, allowing residents to arrive and disappear without ever touching a public road. Access stays tightly controlled, with certain homes reachable only through secured private drives. Living here feels like occupying a command center above Los Angeles. Sunset Strip views glow every night, wrapping the hills in gold and neon. Celebrity sightings happen casually, the way neighbors nod at each other while walking dogs. Renovations costing $500,000 count as routine upgrades, not indulgences. Owners constantly chase perfection because the stakes are that high and the neighbors set the bar. The Bird Streets also hold records that reinforce their myth. In 2019, the $150 million sale of the Chartwell estate through Compass shattered expectations and confirmed that there is no ceiling here. Each record sale resets the market and reminds everyone watching that this enclave plays by different rules. What makes the Bird Streets unforgettable is not just the money, it is the sensation of elevation, both literal and symbolic. This is where Hollywood ambition matures into absolute power, where fame turns into fortresses, and where the city feels small from above. The homes do not chase attention, they already own it. Next, we descend from glass cliffs to a neighborhood where fortunes hide behind gates first built nearly a century ago. 4. Cheney Estates. Deep inside Preston Hollow, far from the glass towers and sprawl most people associate with Dallas, Cheney Estates sits like a fortified kingdom built for Texas titans. This is not suburban luxury. This is land first, power second, and architecture built to match both. The enclave holds just 20 custom estates, each spread across 2 to 10 acres, creating a scale that feels almost rural despite being minutes from the city's core. Cheney Estates was carefully carved out in the 1990s, conceived with a very deliberate purpose, to cater to oil barons and ultra-high net worth individuals who demanded absolute privacy without sacrificing convenient access to the city's economic and social hubs. The neighborhood was never about flashy appearances, but about controlled exclusivity, where every estate is a statement of both wealth and discretion. The median estate here sits at $18 million, yet that figure barely scratches the surface of what these properties represent. The average lot values alone hover around $5 million, and that is before even accounting for a single wall, roof, or gate. In Cheney Estates, land itself is the ultimate flex. Its vast, meticulously landscaped parcels that stretch beyond the eye's reach, creating private worlds for their owners. Here, space, security, and seclusion are the currency, and there is an abundance of all three. Wealth in Cheney Estates does not whisper. It settles in and stays. The neighborhood is home to numerous wealthy families, with residences inspired by the scale and swagger associated with figures like Jerry Jones and recent sales crossing the $100 million mark, confirming that this enclave now competes with the most expensive residential zones in the country. These are estates built to outlast cycles, not impress trends. Security defines daily life at Cheney Estates. This enclave operates behind gated entry points reinforced with what residents openly describe as SWAT-level protection. This is not symbolic guarding meant to look impressive from the outside. It is a layered system built for people who expect total control. Surveillance cameras track movement at every approach, private patrols circulate continuously, and access roads funnel visitors through strict checkpoints. The result feels less like a neighborhood and more like an executive compound designed to disappear from public reach. Once inside the gates, the estates stretch outward rather than upward, unfolding across vast manicured lawns, private lakes, and long tree-lined drives that place serious distance between neighbors. Space is treated as a luxury equal to money. Silence becomes part of the design. The features push that philosophy even further. Some properties include lakeside docks engineered to handle yacht tenders, an almost surreal detail for a landlocked city that reveals how these owners live elsewhere and expect their homes to adapt. Private gyms expand to 12,000 square feet, rivaling professional training facilities used by elite athletes. These are not indulgent extras. They are deliberate statements about independence, scale, and absolute self-sufficiency. Lifestyle in Cheney Estates revolves around power and recreation. State Farm Stadium sits close enough for game days to feel effortless, especially for residents with deep ties to professional sports. Polo fields sit tucked behind gates, while private hunting grounds offer controlled escapes without ever leaving the perimeter of privilege. This is Texas luxury in its most confident form, blending sport, land, and dominance into everyday living. What separates Cheney Estates from flashier enclaves is intention. Nothing here feels speculative. The homes were built for people who plan to stay powerful, wealthy, and protected for generations. Every driveway feels permanent. Every gate feels final. Cheney Estates proves that Dallas luxury is not about being seen. It is about owning space, controlling access, and building estates that operate like personal empires. The wealth here does not chase attention. It already commands it. Next, we move away from Texas sprawl to a coastal enclave where money stacks vertically and privacy hides behind historic facades. Third, Billionaires Row, NYC. Billionaires Row does not sit quietly inside Manhattan. It rises, pierces the skyline, and announces itself as the most concentrated vertical display of wealth on the planet. Stretching along Midtown from 57th Street to Central Park South, this narrow corridor has transformed air itself into a luxury asset. Here, the higher you live, the more powerful you are assumed to be. The numbers alone feel unreal. Median condo prices is above $20 million, with values averaging $5,200 per square foot, the highest residential price point in the United States. These are not traditional apartments. They are sky estates stacked hundreds of feet above street level, each one designed to separate its owner from both noise and neighbors. Billionaires Row has become home to more than 30 billionaires, according to Forbes 2024. Ken Griffin's $238 million 157 penthouse set the tone, pulling global attention to the Strip. Saudi royals followed. Hedge fund founders followed. Tech moguls followed. What emerged was not just a luxury zone, but a financial summit where the world's most powerful individuals live almost literally above everyone else. The buildings themselves operate like private nations. Owners step into elevators that bypass every shared floor and open directly into living rooms suspended near the 90th floor. Some towers feature private spas in the sky, complete with pools that overlook Central Park from angles helicopters envy. Bulletproof glass wraps entire facades, offering security without sacrificing the full 360-degree view of Manhattan, the Hudson, and beyond. Amenities reach levels that feel closer to private clubs than residences. Sales documents from 157 and 432 Park Avenue reveal squash courts, IMAX-style theaters, wine vaults, and wellness centers that rival elite resorts. Even parking has evolved. Valet robot systems quietly store vehicles underground, removing human presence from the process entirely. Life on Billionaires Row runs with machine-like precision. Concierge teams operate around the clock, handling everything from private jet coordination to international art shipments. Neighbors rarely meet by accident. When they do, it is often in private lounges shared by people who move markets before breakfast. This is where hedge fund kings exchange nods with tech founders and sovereign wealth representatives. In 2024, a $195 million sale at 220 Central Park South became the most expensive residential transaction in American history. That single deal cemented the Strip's reputation as the priciest residential corridor in the country. Each new sale does not just reset expectations, it redraws the ceiling of global real estate. What truly defines Billionaires Row is not luxury finishes or height. It is dominance. This is wealth that chooses altitude over acreage, views over gardens, and silence over space. The city feels distant from here, reduced to a living map beneath glass floors and curved windows. From this vertical empire, we move next to a neighborhood where power abandons the sky and retreats behind iron gates and legacy estates that predate modern finance. 2. Scarsdale. 30 miles north of New York City, this 6-square-mile suburb feels deliberately removed from the chaos it feeds. Wall Street wealth flows in and out daily, yet the streets remain calm, tree-lined, and disciplined, as if noise itself were discouraged. By surface numbers, Scarsdale can appear modest. The top 10% of homes push beyond $10 million, and in enclaves like Heathcote and Quaker Ridge, estates average closer to $15 million. This is not flashy wealth. This is wealth that compounds quietly over generations. Income data reinforces that reality. U.S. Census 2023 lists Scarsdale with the highest median household income in the country at $250,000. This is not driven by celebrities or viral success stories. It comes from hedge fund principals, legacy financiers, and institutional power players who prefer prefer discretion to attention. Forbes has identified at least 5 billionaires who call Scarsdale home, many of them deeply embedded in global finance. Architecture tells the rest of the story. Roughly 40% of homes were built before 1939. Gilded Age mansions sit comfortably beside newer builds, creating a seamless blend of legacy and modernization. Stone facades, slate roofs, and deep setbacks give neighborhoods a sense of permanence. These homes were designed to last, not to trend. The features feel curated rather than extravagant. Top-ranked schools consistently earn A+ ratings from niche, making education a central luxury rather than an accessory. 18-hole golf clubs anchor social life, while equestrian trails weave quietly through wooded sections of town. Inside the homes, wine cellars holding more than 10,000 bottles signal a long-term view of wealth, the kind that plans decades ahead. Daily life in Scarsdale moves with precision. Commuter trains deliver residents directly into Manhattan, allowing billion-dollar decisions to be made by day and returned home by night. Despite the power concentration, community rituals remain intact. The annual Green Acres Halloween Parade has become famous for drawing A-listers who blend seamlessly into crowds of families and neighbors. No barricades, no spectacle, just tradition. What truly elevates Scarsdale is restraint. This is a place where wealth chooses stability over scale and reputation over recognition. The homes do not compete for attention because the residents already control rooms that matter far more than headlines. Scarsdale stands as proof that the highest level of luxury does not need to shine. It only needs to endure. And finally, we arrive at an enclave where gates tighten, land stretches wider, and power no longer commutes but fully withdraws. 1. Beverly Park and Crest. Beverly Park and Beverly Crest do not pretend to be neighborhoods. They operate more like fortified kingdoms designed for people who have already won at the highest level. Tucked into the Santa Monica Mountains and accessed through Beverly Hills postal codes, these twin-gated enclaves stretch across roughly 100 acres each. From the moment the gates close behind you, Los Angeles feels very far away. The scale immediately resets your sense of normal. Lots range from 1 to 5 acres, an absurd amount of land for Los Angeles, and the mansions themselves regularly exceed 20,000 square feet. These are not houses built to fit into a city. They are estates carved out of a mountain. Wealth here is not speculative. It is confirmed, documented, and publicly verifiable. Elon Musk once held a $17 million home within these boundaries, while Diddy's estate reportedly crossed $40 million without hesitation. This is a neighborhood where ownership itself acts as proof of arrival. Annual property taxes alone often exceed $500,000 per home. Here, security defines daily life. Armed patrols operate around the clock, monitoring every entrance and every road. Visitors do not wander in. They are logged, verified, and escorted. Helipads sit discreetly on properties for residents who prefer to arrive above traffic rather than through it. Infinity pools hang over cliff edges with sweeping views of Hollywood, turning the city into a distant backdrop rather than a destination. The neighbors read like a Hall of Fame: Rod Stewart, Sylvester Stallone. Industry figures whose names never appear on social media, but move entire markets behind closed doors. TMZ and Forbes have both confirmed the concentration of elite residents, yet even paparazzi tread carefully here. Privacy is enforced, not requested. Inside the estates, indulgence becomes deeply personal. Private cinema rooms rival commercial theaters. Garages stretch long enough to house 10 supercars without crowding, designed specifically for Bugatti and Ferrari collections. Smart homes operate silently, adjusting lighting, climate, and security without drawing attention to themselves. This is luxury that functions rather than performs. The lifestyle is governed by exclusivity. Homeowners association fees climb beyond $250,000 annually, a deliberate barrier that ensures the community remains insulated from outsiders. Social life happens behind walls, on terraces overlooking the city, or inside dining rooms where deals worth billions are discussed without witnesses. And that's all for today. If you enjoyed this tour into the billionaire neighborhoods in America, don't forget to like and drop a comment telling us which neighborhood blew your mind the most. And subscribe to our channel for more videos like this.